Well, hello, Q&A number 93. Nope, 94. We're on number 94. Anyway, we've had a lot of requests and for Papa O to sing a song that he wrote. Got my guitar here.
Actually, it's my good. Is this mine?
This is the 12 string. I should have grabbed yours. I just grabbed the first one.
Because I got one in Old Spain.
Old Spain, yeah. Okay, so this is a song Papa O wrote, and he's too scared to sing it by himself, so I'm going to help him. And you ready? It's called I Could Have Kicked My Pants. Okay.
You know how you kick your pants, kick somebody's pants when they do something wrong.
Because Joe was 34 by the time he got married, so... And he's traveled all over and I was 18, and he traveled all over the world looking for a girl to marry.
She means all over Europe.
He's been to 24 countries.
28.
Oh, 28.
Like just saying.
Okay, and he knows 10 languages, learned languages on his way, was engaged, what, 3 times?
I tried to convert him to the Mormon church, and I said, I don't want to, when my kids are a little bit older, I don't want...
He wanted to marry a girl in the same religion, but he thought he could
make marriage easier.
He thought he could just date anybody and fall in love with anybody and then convert them. Didn't work. A girl in Quebec, Canada, a girl in France, and a girl in
There's
Spain.
None in France. I was dated there.
Oh.
But a girl in Italy.
A girl in Italy.
2 girls, actually.
Oh, 2 girls. But they wouldn't convert. So... one of the girls says, you know, Joe, why don't you just go find a good little Mormon girl and get married in the temple?
And she was a Mormon girl, but she didn't want to go to church. And I thought,
oh,
no, my grandmother went through that.
Yeah. Since Joe had been through that when he was a little boy, he didn't want to go through that. So, anyway, so this is his song called Care to Kick My Pants. I've traveled around practically all of my life, searching and searching for the perfect wife. I traveled to Europe and Paris and France. She was right in my backyard, I could have kicked my pants. Finally I left my place I call home and got on that plane all alone. I went to a place that I didn't even know, searching to be some pretty girl's beau. Finally I found that my efforts were vain, to all of the countries and even old Spain. So I hitched a ride and went on back to home, 'cause in Switzerland I was still all alone. When I got back I went to a big dance and saw a cute girl whom I'd give a chance to be my wife throughout all eternity. She finally consented to marry me. I've traveled around practically all of my life, searching and searching for the perfect wife. I traveled to Europe and Paris and France. She was right in my backyard, I could have kicked my pants. She was right in my backyard, I could have kicked my pants.
Is that harmonizing?
Yeah, good job. Take a bow. Oh, he went. Yeah, Joe said, "No, I don't want to play the guitar. I don't want to sing alone." I said, "All right, I'll fill in for you." So, as I say when we're out singing, says we had a lot of requests, but we're going to keep singing anyway. Okay, I thought we would tell our most memorable Christmases, and so I'll start while you think, because I've had time to think. But I remember, I think I was 12 or 14, and my sister, I remember it was a couple weeks before Christmas, and she was coughing, and she just kept coughing.
Which one?
Kathy, my sister Kathy, and she just kept coughing. And
about how old was she?
I think she's 16.
Okay.
Yeah, 15 or 16, and there's about a year's difference. And she says, "Oh, go get mom I'm coughing up blood." And I said, "Oh no!" So I went and got mom, and you know, that's serious when you cough that up. There's somehow blood's getting in your lungs. So she went to the Mom came in, and you know, the next day went to the doctor, and we would always have Santa come to our house and stuff. I thought I'd throw that in there. And went to the doctor, and they found out one of the valves is shutting. You know, your heart opens and shuts every time it pumps blood, and pumps the blood through your body and stuff. But one of the valves wasn't pumping the blood out, but it was pumping the blood into her lungs, into her heart, and it would fill into her lungs, and so she had to get an operation, open heart surgery. And so Christmas was coming, and so here comes Santa. He would, so it was Christmas, and we didn't know what we were going to do to get Kathy better, because we'd gone to several doctors and they weren't quite sure what to do to get that valve to open and shut correctly. And so she thought, oh, what are we going to tell Santa? Because Santa would come around to each of our beds, and he would say, what do you want for Christmas? And I shouldn't have chose this story. It's Santa came to Kathy's bed, and we were all saying what we wanted, a dolly or a truck or something, and Santa came to her bed and he said, so what do you want? And she said, oh, Santa, I don't know, I have a heart problem, and I don't know if I'm going to to make it to the next Christmas. And if I could just, Santa would have these really cool bells, and they were really loud, cool bells that he would wear around his waist. And she said, if I could just let me feel the bells, and then maybe that would help me get better. And there were 6 of us girls in the same bedroom. We slept out in the back room, and so we were just all right there. And I could...
There's no heat in the back.
No heat, yeah. You just pile out of blankets on you. And it was the first time I heard Santa cry. I could hear him sniffling. And he said, sure. And so he let Kathy feel the bells. I think he wore them, we couldn't see, he'd turned the lights out, and so it was really dark, and I think he wore them around his shoulder. And she said, oh, she just was so happy to feel the Christmas bells. And
he'd been outside.
He'd been outside, so they were really cold. And Santa said, I hope you get better. And I just remember that Christmas, and she did get better. She had 7 children, and all the doctor did, they didn't know what to do to fix the valve, and all he did is he just took his finger. They did open heart surgery, and they cut a big scar on this big opening. Now they could do small openings, but back then they cut about that much. And
to open it up.
Just opened her right up. She was 16, and all he did was just poke his finger through. He said, I'm just going to open the opening in her heart valve with my finger. And she's 63 now, had 7 children, and she's on blood thinners, but she made it this far.
Wow.
And that's all the doctor did, and we just feel like it was
in those days, you didn't just jump in and go up to primary children's hospital.
Yeah, we just felt it was a miracle. And I remember going up to see her in the hospital, and I remember my dad was kind of crying, and she said, don't worry, Dad, I'm going to get better, and I'm going to have 12 children. But when she had their 7th child, the doctor says, you better not have any more. You want to be around to raise these 7 children. So, but she made it through. It was just a memorable Christmas. Okay, your turn. Oh my gosh, I should have told that story. Okay.
Well, should I tell the one about coming home?
I think you should tell that one, because that's what the song was about, huh?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I'll get choked up if I tell that one.
We're not doing very good, are we?
Well, one of my 5 or 6 trips to Europe, I was going to move over there. And so I had 2 suitcases that I bought.
Why did you want to move to Europe?
Just for the adventure and to learn other languages. I went over there, worked for a year. I didn't have the money to go to Europe, so I worked for a year
In Quebec.
in Quebec, speaking French and learning French. And then I got on a big plane all alone.
Went to a place you didn't even know.
Then I went to Spain with no job. I just had a few $100 and got a job teaching English at a school. And to make a long story short, I went over there. At this one particular trip, I took both suitcases with me, and
it was a big suitcase.
They were big suitcase and a big backpack. And my sister felt really bad. She thought, I don't know if I'll even ever see him again. He might get married over there.
That was your plan.
But let me tell you the part that I want, that we're supposed to be talking about here now.
Okay.
About the big plane all alone. I had a job set up in Paris. It was going to be a good job, but I was waiting on a work permit. And I was considered a foreigner, so it took a while for the work permit, like weeks and weeks.
So you were there 6 months?
Around 6 months, yeah.
Waiting for this.
I was going up to Stockholm.
Waiting for this.
Wondering if I should try to get a
was
job
it Berlitz
up there.
or what?
It was Berlitz, yeah. And so I was waiting for the work permit, and I was jumping on the subways, sneaking on there, trying to give little conversation languages in English, just to feed myself. And the little room I had was so small that if you opened the armoire, the little covered like place where you couldn't walk to the other side of the room. My bed was right there. Anyway, so
to make a long story short.
Okay, get to the point now.
Okay.
I was running out of money really fast, and all I could do was barely make enough money to feed myself and live in a really just.
And you taught lessons every day, English
no,
lessons?
Just when I could. No,
when
they were hard to get because
okay.
They were just hard to get.
So you were just barely scraping by.
Yes. Anyway,
waiting for this job.
I was waiting for the job to come through, and it was getting towards Christmas time. And I hadn't been to church, the Mormon church. I hadn't been, I went once to say, can you watch over my one suitcase for me here at this?
The missionaries were keeping track of your suitcase?
Well, the mission president.
Mission president, yeah. Okay.
So I said, I'll be back. I'm not sure when, but I will come back for this suitcase. And so, traveled around some more, and then all of a sudden, I said, I better at least attend church once, or they might give my suitcase away. They have to see that I'm still alive. Meanwhile, this particular time, 6-8 months had passed. And they said, by the way, Brother Orville, Frère Ogil, said there's going to be a special Christmas party only for Americans, because American missionaries or Americans that are working here, and it's going to be next Friday. And
it's like 2 weeks before Christmas?
Yeah, 2 weeks before Christmas. And I thought, I can't lose anything. So I went there. As soon as I walked in that room where the party was, I looked around and it looked like it was going to be fun. But in the corner, I saw a boy and a girl. I was guessing middle teens, maybe late teens. And I could feel their spirit. I just thought they looked like good people. There was a good feeling in the whole place. Plus there was a special feeling with that boy and girl. And I watched them, how they talked to each other, and how just the clean.
It's like their aura.
And the virtue that was in their eyes talking to each other. And all of a sudden, a big hole was in me in my heart saying, that's what I wanted to have.
I want that.
I wanted to marry a girl before I came to Europe and marry her in the temple. And so I said, I'm going home. And
he goes, I want that. I'm going back home.
And all I had was $60, barely putting together enough money for the following month in rent, but I'd keep. No, in that moment, I said, I'm going home and give it one more try
Yeah.
to find a marry a
decided.
girl in the Salt Lake Temple. And it was so weird because when I went home that day
To your apartment.
to apartment, it wasn't an apartment, it was more a room. It was a rooming house,
yeah.
a single room.
Yeah, the one room. Went home to your room.
No bathroom in it. The room was down the hall for all the people there. Anyway, the landlady her home was connected to the bottom floor, and she said, Monsieur Argile, Berlitz a appelé. Il voulait que vous veniez, votre rapport est arrivé. But bottom line, he said that Berlitz called and your work permit just got here. You
his permit came
and
through.
they said to leave a message saying you can start training really quick and you'll be teaching.
So you had a decision to make, but you'd already made your decision.
I'd already made my decision. I just thanked her very much. But I had no.
He said, "I'm going home."
I'm going home. For that, I had 60. I took a walk to downtown Paris. It was about a 3-mile walk because that's where the biggest airlines were in the downtown. I was on the outskirts behind the Eiffel Tower in a small rooming house. Anyway, so I said, I just got to walk down there. I said, I'll walk in case I pass one. And I'd walked maybe 3/4 of a mile or a mile down the road. I knew how to get to Champs-Élysées, the downtown part of Paris. And I saw a little teeny travel agency. And I thought, this looks so dumpy and so little. I said, why would I even stop there? They're not going to go to New York. And so I said, no, I had an impression. My first meeting with an angel came, and I walked in there and I said,
He calls these his angels that got him home.
Special people that had a huge part of me getting home. And I went in there and asked her in French, I said, do you have any reservations left to go to New York? And she said, oh no, we've been sold out of those for a long time. Because it was getting maybe a week and a half
busy.
Before Christmas.
Yeah.
And I started to walk out of the travel agency, and she said, Attendez, monsieur, attendez. She says, wait. I do have one, but it's only a one-way. It just goes to New York. And that's
one way.
And that's exactly what I wanted. Otherwise, it was French people getting a round trip, going to New York and coming back. And she says, I said, how much is it? She said, $90 in French.
And you had 60.
I had 60. And so I said, I'll give you the 60 and I will have the $30 by this Friday. And I had no idea where I was going to get it.
So would you have 2 days, 3 days?
I had about 3 days.
3 days.
So I immediately I had some
So
really...
you left the 60
I had some nice clothes. I had a little shortwave radio I had bought. And a lot of things I'd bought and just brought back. And so I immediately put a price on every one of them, and I had some really nice shirts and some nice clothes I'd bought, and I put them in my suitcase, and I went down to the metro, to the subway,
underground,
where people sell down there. It's against the law. You're not supposed to do it, but you open your suitcase, and so there were other people, about every 30 feet there'd be somebody selling something, and so I sold stuff really quick. I had looked like a knitted...
You're there for about a half hour?
A knitted Mickey Mouse sweater that went just like that. I still remember Arab bought it for about $30 or $40, and I went, whoa, he wanted that really bad. And I sold it. All of a sudden, a little boy comes running by, and he says, Monsieur les flics, allez-vous-en.
Policeman.
The cops are coming, So everybody, all of us...
You close your suitcase and just walk away.
Yeah.
So you had your money.
Yeah. And so I got my money, and when I got home, my sister had sent me $30 for an old car I gave her, I don't know, a year ago, and she knew I was short on money, so she sent me $30. So I was over my amount.
So you had
$100 and something dollars.
Some money, spending money for food. And
So I went back there, gave her the money, and I'm waiting for my ticket. Anyway, we got there, got to New York. By the time I landed there, I think I had about $30.
How long of a flight was it?
Well, they're always around 6 to 8 hours.
6 to 8 hours.
Yeah, about it. Yeah.
And you
it's 6 hours to cross the ocean.
And so you're kind of going back time. So
yeah.
So you land in New York, Christmas Eve.
Land in New York, Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve.
And
night so long.
Yeah, it's on.
Okay.
Okay, and the bus driver, he saw me making those signs, and he said to me, really sadly, he said, "You're not going to make it home. You're not going to make it home by Christmas." And I just said, "I know." He said,
So you were just glad to be in America.
I was glad to be in America. He said, "My route goes, your ticket is this next town, but I go about another 150 miles, and I will take you to the end of my route for nothing." Got to there. I went to, got to the end. I got out, got on the freeway, and I had to get rid of one suitcase because it was just too much to expect a car to pick somebody up with two big suitcases in a backpack, and so I got rid of it.
Didn't you hide your suitcase?
Anyway, so I hitchhiked, and within several minutes, a little sports car comes up and opens his back. He says, "Put your stuff back here," and he says, "I am dead tired. Can you drive for a while for me?"
So you're only waiting like 5 minutes after the bus driver dropped you off?
Yes. And he took me maybe, about an hour's worth. Another, I don't know, maybe 100 miles.
And the bus driver drove you an extra 2 hours? Or
yeah, not quite that far. Maybe an
extra hour.
Anyway, this time I waited about, and it's getting to be between early afternoon and late afternoon. In other words, it's just barely the sun's going to start going down pretty soon.
And you're in Pennsylvania?
No, by this time I'm on Interstate 80 headed west.
What state?
Well, I'm not stopped at any state, but I'm more or less even with Illinois.
Okay.
Oh no, Ohio.
Okay.
I'm more or less even with Ohio. And all of a sudden a little Volkswagen bus pulls up.
Oh, no, that one drops you off. That guy drops you off.
Yeah, he drops me off because that's as far as he's going. And the guy in the Volkswagen bus...
Within 5 minutes?
No, it was more like 10. But it was, luckily there was no snowstorm. And I'd say it was kind of close to freezing, but it wasn't super cold, and there was no wind blowing. So I was very happy about that. So he said, put my stuff in. And I said, "How far are you going?" And he was going to take me clear to Cleveland, Ohio, which is, I don't know, 400 or 500 miles. It was quite a ways, so I was way happy with that. And by that time, it was getting dark, and this is Christmas Eve. And he took the off-ramp into Cleveland, Ohio, and I said, "I need you to let me off right on the highway here, because I'm going to keep hitchhiking." And he said, "It's Christmas Eve." I said, "There's not going to be anybody driving to Utah on Christmas Eve." I said, "I think there will be." And he says, he just shook his head and just thought, this guy is an idiot.
Crazy.
No, he didn't. He was crazy. So he said, "Tell you what,
with him?
Come home with me and spend Christmas at our house."
With his family?
Well, he just said at our house.
Yeah, with his mom.
Yeah, he's staying with his mom.
Yeah.
Of course, he introduces me to his mother, and then Christmas, I slept in an extra room, and they gave me a little present.
Yeah,
and I had a Christmas meal with them and everything. And
that was really nice of them.
Oh, it was very nice of them.
So you got to
and I was
Christmas
warm,
Eve
and he said,
at somebody's
and
house.
this guy's name was Joe Goody, that drove the Volkswagen bus.
Yeah,
and he said, something kind of a coincidence.
Something about the name.
Some kind of a coincidence. The next angel appears.
Yeah, he calls them
said,
angels.
"My sister is going to Denver, Colorado this coming Friday with her boyfriend. Let me talk to them and see if you can hitch a ride with them." And so later on that day, he came back and she talked to the boyfriend.
And this is Christmas Day. You stayed a couple of days with them, or something?
So this is Christmas Day.
Christmas Day.
He said, "Yeah, we're going to," and I talked to the boyfriend, and he looked like a hippie, and I'm thinking, look at him, he's probably on drugs.
The Joe Goody? Yeah.
No, not Joe Goody, the hippie boyfriend.
Boyfriend.
I'm saying hippie because he had long hair. He had.
This is back in the 70s.
Yeah,
1970s.
he had Levi's on, and he just looked kind of like, if anybody smokes marijuana, this is going to be the one. No, I was in my mind. I'm thinking that.
You're thinking, oh.
But then how
he turned out to be an angel.
Wrong he turned out to be one of my angels. And he said, "I'm going there this Friday. If you want to hang around here till Friday, then
They were just so
you
nice
can go
to
out
you.
with us. Anyways, bottom line is
care
the
of you.
following Friday, there were, I think, 4 of us in the car. One night we spent in a hotel where we went in the hotel, one person paid, and the others were hiding in the car, and then we just got out.
Snuck in.
We all slept in there. Okay, so this is where this other angel in my life. We got to Vail, Colorado.
So you're all the way to Colorado.
And that's got to be, let's
And
see,
Utah's
200
just-
miles from home.
Yeah, Utah's just right.
Yeah.
Next
It's
state.
north is Wyoming, and
They
west
touch.
is Utah.
They touch. The two states
And he
touch.
said, and I was ready to get out of the car, and he said, well,
Start hitchhiking again?
yep,
Mm-hmm.
because it was during the daytime, and he just said, which way you going? And I said, well, I'm going north up through Wyoming and on I-80 there, because he said, you ought to just go straight on this highway, something that goes right into eastern Utah. That's just a better way to go in. I said, no, I just feel it's better. I just wanted to go up north, and let's say Interstate 80 through Wyoming, it's nothing but there are only buildings and gas stations maybe every 60 miles. There's hardly anybody, just farmers and cows and cowboys live there. And so
You could get stuck there.
I know, and that's exactly what he told me. He said, I've known more than one person get stuck in the winter in Wyoming and could not get a ride out of there. He said,
Storms are pretty bad.
but he
Winter
said,
storms.
I have an idea. He said, how much money you got on you? And I think it was around $20 or
Yeah,
something.
$20 left.
Yeah, and he said, go down to Greyhound, see what a
Bus ticket.
bus ticket to Salt Lake City is. And it was around, I don't know, $30.
30 is
Yeah,
more than what you had.
It was more than what I had. He says, tell you what, I will go down with you. I will pay for your ticket to Salt Lake City. And I said, I can't expect you to do that. I said, you should just, I don't want you to use all of your money in case you have to stop somewhere and eat.
Get some food, yeah.
Get some food. So he says, just give me $10 of that $30 and keep the rest in case you need to eat. And so he bought the ticket and he paid for my way home. So he was an angel.
And you
And here's this.
wanted to pay him back.
Oh yeah, and I said, I gave him a piece of paper with a name and said, he said, let me, I want to send you the money, so just write down your address. He said, you're not going to pay me back. He says, you might need to pay somebody else back or help somebody
Pay it
else.
forward.
Yeah, pay it forward. He didn't use that expression, but that's what he meant.
And how long, this is probably what, a week or two after Christmas by this
Oh,
time?
it's a good week after Christmas.
Good week, at
yeah,
least,
or
by
a week and a
Christmas.
half after Christmas. And I said, but anyway, I did get home. I called my dad and my sister.
So you land in Salt Lake City with how much money?
I had 7 cents.
7 cents in
when
his
I got
pocket.
there. And
Called his dad.
I landed there. Wasn't able to find Greyhound, but I found Continental. That was another kind of sister line to Greyhound. And he was there to pick me up.
Surprised them, I bet. They didn't know you were coming home.
No, they didn't know. And I did
So
not
you just
tell
called
them.
up
I did
and
not.
said,
Oh, I didn't even know if I'd make it home.
or when, or how, or
No, I
you
really
just wanted to.
And just out of nowhere, when they heard the call from me, they said, "Where are you? Where are you?"
Salt Lake.
I'm in Vail, Colorado.
Oh, you called them
yeah.
from there? Oh.
And I should be coming home. I am coming home.
I bet they were so excited.
But anyway, the angels. So one of our apostles in our church said, sometimes angels will help you during your life, and other times you will be the angel that helps somebody else.
And
Just think about that.
And then we met in March.
So
We met
about a
in
month
March.
later, I went to a dance, and she walked in front of me, long hair, and
The rest is history.
cuter than
He's-
a bug's ear, like they used
Ew.
to say.
Anything's cuter than a bug's ear. Bugs
But
don't even have
I'm
ears.
sorry I went so long on that, but it's a special thing. Every
yeah.
Christmas Eve,
Brought him home.
I think of me looking at that couple with leading good lives, virtuous, and just clean. I don't know, Not that I wasn't clean, but I'm just saying that I just think
gave you that decision. Say, I'm going home and I want to find a girl to marry in the temple.
in my own speaking, using words we use in our church, I felt the Holy Ghost, the Spirit,
and
the Spirit put that in my heart to try for it again.
And he got that job at Berlitz, and he could have stayed, but he said, no, I'm going home. Yeah. What scripture are we on, number 20?
It is 21.
Oh, number 21, okay.
Yeah. Matthew 25:35. For what I was and hungered, and ye gave me meat.
Oh, there you are.
Got a meat dinner? That's not bad.
Yeah, so that's what these people did with you. They took care of you. They could tell that you needed help, and they
were good people.
They helped you.
They were good people. They gave me, I still remember, they gave me a brand new calendar for that year.
They gave you a gift.
Cute.
They gave you a place to stay. They gave you rides.
They gave me food and everything.
They could tell you needed help. So,
and
if you see somebody that needs help,
fellow, I got it on in my journal, but the one that I prejudged, that shows you that never look at a person, and because he doesn't dress like you or talk like you, or maybe he's taking
don't go by how they look.
Taking a girl to live with her or something, and
don't judge a book by its cover, because he was the kindest fellow and gave you the rest of the money to get you home. And well, I hope that that this Christmas will be good for you. And I almost forgot, we got to do our book giveaway. Oh, this is for Mama Knows About Rainbows, and I'll send a Christmas CD with it too. The Garbell, you won. Now it's got focus back. You won the book and Christmas CD, and as soon as I hear from you, just email me your address at roseanneorgill@yahoo.com, and I'll mail that right out to you and get it to you by Christmas if you let me know ASAP. And I hope that Christmas will bring you joy and happiness, and that I know sometimes Christmases can be pretty sad for people. And because you're kind of, if you're alone or you've lost somebody, or because Christmas, it can be a sad time too. But if it's a happy time, then that will bring you joy. And if it's a sad time, you can still find joy in that by serving others.
No, but I just thought that
trying to grab
sometimes it takes tough times.
Sometimes it takes tough times
to make you to open your heart up and have you feel love for people.
So I hope whatever it is you're going through, that you will find joy, whether you're being helped or you're helping somebody else. You will find joy in that, and remember what Christmas is for, and I hope that it will be good for you. And thanks for liking, commenting, and subscribing. And good night, everybody, and Merry Christmas.
We caught it for so